Hello friends, it's Wednesday night, which means it's time for another family night craft brought to you by Northeast Branch Library. And today we are making these very cute little painted rock cactus crafts. So they look like cute little succulents, but they are made all out of craft materials. So make sure you get a go pack at Northeast with all the supplies you'll need, and then let's get started. So everything you'll need for this activity will be in your go pack. So you'll need a little terracotta pot full of rocks or dirt, so little pebbles or dirt. You'll have one or the other in your bag in a little Ziploc bag, but I've just already poured mine into here. Now there is a hole in the bottom of the pot. I'm not gonna tip it over here, but I have put tape over each of them so that the dirt and the pebbles won't fall through. So don't remove the tape. If for some reason your tape is missing and everything's falling through the little hole in the bottom, just take a piece of tape or two and just fix it. It'll work like magic. So then you'll also need rocks. So I think you have 1 to 3 rocks in each of your bags. These are what we'll be painting as the cacti. You'll need a paintbrush or 2. I just grabbed 2 here. You'll need paints, which I've included in these little strips. So it should have dark green, light green, white, and black. Of course, if you have more paints at home, you're welcome to use them. Now, one thing that's not in your bag that I'm going to use is a piece of paper to paint over. So once you have your pebbles or dirt in your cup, you'll set that aside because we want to paint our rocks so they have time to dry. So get a piece of paper or a tablecloth. Make sure you're wearing clothes you don't mind getting dirty. And remember that these are acrylic paints. So acrylic paints will not come out of clothes, a lot of surfaces. So you want to try to keep everything nice and clean. So what we're going to do first is paint one side of each of these rocks. We'll let them dry and then we'll paint the other side. On the back of the instruction sheet, I've put a bunch of pictures of different little cacti and pots so you could get inspiration for different patterns. Actually, what I'm going to do to start out with is I'm going to paint each rock a solid color and then I'll paint a lighter pattern on top. So I'm just going to head and close the white and black. I'm not going to use them. I think I'll paint like 1 or 2 the dark color and then 1 or 2 the light color. And it might take 2 coats to properly cover it without seeing through. It's up to you. If you do multiple coats, just make sure that you let it dry in between the coats. And if you're going in between colors, either switch paintbrushes like I just did, or rinse off your brush in water or wipe it on a paper towel so that you don't mix the colors together. All right, so here is the first coat of the first side. So what I'm going to do is let this dry, then I'll add another coat to this side, let that dry, flip it over, add a coat, add another coat. So let's fast forward and do that. Okay, so now I'm going to get started on the final coat for these, and I'm going to start doing detail work on this one. So let's do the last coat for this first. Okay, so these look like they have enough. This rock looks pretty good, so I'm going to add the details on. So for my first detail layer, I'm just going to go off one of the pictures where it has sort of little ridges, and basically I'm going to make these squiggly marks on top of the dark portion. For the light ones, it looks like the dark is sort of sunk in. Now that they're all dry, I'm going to flip this one over, repeat on the back, and I'll add a design on these with the dark paint. All right, so we'll let those dry, and then we're going to go in with the white or black or both paints and add some needles to finish our painted part of our cactus. All right, once these are nice and dry, it's time to add our white paint or black paint for our spines. If you have yellow paint at home, that could also be nice, or an even lighter green, which you can mix up with some green and white. But I'm just going to use good old white. I like to use the edge of my brush. Let's see if we can get it in frame. I like to use the edge of my brush here. You can see it's just like the corner, so that I get good control to add fine details. So the spine is just a quick little line. Sometimes if you look at the reference photos, you might do a little circle and then a line. It's up to you, but we're going to draw those prickly things that poke and hurt us when we touch cactus. Did you know a spine is a natural defense for a cactus? So it helps cacti from being eaten, having spines that if an animal will come up and try to eat that cactus, it will get poked by the spines and then they'll go away. Nature is pretty smart. All right, so you'll want to let these dry, but once everything is done getting painted and dried, it's time to nestle them in our pots. So you want to put them in sort of an artful configuration. You can see they look like cute little cacti. I think I'll put this one actually in the middle. You want to make sure that they're nestled in enough that they're not going to fall. How cute. So you can see this is what they look like now. So final steps, if you want, you could paint something on your pot, which looks really cute. Maybe I'll do a quick little design here. So I'm just going to add a little white scallop design around the edges because I think it will look cute. If you want to do something like this, it's probably a good idea to do it before putting all of your cacti and dirt and rocks in here. Looks cute. Now you can end this here, or you can do what I'm going to, oh no. Pro tip, let this paint dry. Otherwise your fingers will look like this. And your pot will look like this. Okay, but all mistakes aside, there's one last thing you can do if you'd like. Let me try to tilt up my camera here a bit. So as you've seen, some of the cacti have little blossoms. So there'll probably be a few pom-poms in your bag. I don't like to add it to every single one, but I'm probably going to add 1 or 2 pom-poms as little flowers. You could also use tissue paper, colored paper. You could paint it on with paint. But I'm going to add some little cactus flowers. So one there. And I think I'll add one of them to, I think, this one. So let it dry, and then you're done. Okay friends, so that's it for today's painted rock cactus craft. I hope you had fun, and join us again next Wednesday for another family night craft. Bye friends, and I'll see you next week.